glass cannon because
Yep.
it had 8 lands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the whole thing about it was just it became more storm combo-ish.
Well, and that's what I like about Tin Fins. Like, what a ridiculous deck. It's like, what does your deck do? Be like, it cheats Grizzlebrand into play, draws a bunch of cards, of course, and then it storms off, and you're like, what? Like, why? Why would you do that?
Well, I mean, my build ended up actually having 4 Cabal rituals and 4 Dark rituals and 4 Simian Spirit Guides.
Nice.
And what I'd end up doing is actually trying to actually play Grizzlebrand with Shallow Grave.
Okay.
So he would swing in.
Yeah.
I'd pay this 14 life, draw 14 cards, and then try and get the Children of Corliss out so that I can pop that, draw more cards, and just start throwing down all these rituals, and then just go Simian Spirit Guide, fling,
Nice.
reanimate, fling.
And you know, it's like turn 1 or 2. I want to do all the things.
Yeah.
You know, like I just want to do everything this game. So, I'm hoping that's what Matthew's deck is doing. We're gonna get deck lists in a second and know for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? What else wants Grizzlebrand in the sideboard?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like, because you're looking at with Tin Fins usually running Living Wish.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that also grabs you lands.
Yeah, and I mean, like, no fair deck has ever cast Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever pays 7 for Grizzlebrand.
I actually did do
Or is
that
it
one
8?
time. It's
because I think it's 8. Yeah, because
It's
it's
8,
wonky. It's like a 7/7 that draws 7 that costs 8.
It was. I did that in one game actually, where I was
You
pretty
actually
much.
cashed it.
I actually
cast?
I went like Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, and yeah, that was it. I ended up just hard casting Grizzlebrand.
Seems all right.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a desperate measure. I was kind of in pain there, but
Well, you know, it's kind of like sometimes you get, oh man,
yeah. So we're looking at looks like another.
Vampire Hexmage. So is it's lands?
Yep.
It must be turbo depths. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And this looks kind of like a sneak show. I see a
With Chandra.
yeah.
Okay.
A bit surprising, and a chalice.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is. I guess this is the kind of red prisony build that I've seen of
Okay. Yeah.
Sneak and Show. I wonder if he's running.
And you know, like Chandra Torch of Defiance is just phenomenal in any kind of prison style strategy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you have a lot of cards that are just not great. And so you plus them, and then it's like, well, I don't want that. And so I'm not going to draw my third chalice, so you take 2 damage.
Yeah.
And then the ultimate just is nuts. You
Yeah.
just draw stuff and do like a bunch of damage.
I think basically any sort of planeswalker that gives you a good mana edge as well is just.
Sometimes you ramp into Chandra plus Chandra at Blood Moon, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm beating you on so many levels right now.
Yeah, because it's like I got my value out of my city, I got my value out of my ancient tomb.
Yep. And then so Matthew mulled to 6, I believe, and Matt looks happy with
The 7.
his original 7.
And there we go, this Sylvan Safekeeper. I think that's the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got some old lands in play there.
What is the land with the 2 counters?
Sandstone.
Okay.
Something other. I haven't seen much of it.
Okay.
That's the unfortunate thing. So it eludes me right now. But I believe it's...
Simian Spirit Guide, here we go.
Yeah, and Sneak.
Here we go.
Yeah. So the Sandstone, I believe, comes into play with counters on it, and you can tap and remove a counter to add an additional mana.
Okay.
But it comes into play tapped, so you can't use it right away.
Sylvan Scrying, so he's probably looking for some of the depths combo.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's being staged, so... And he's
Getcha.
getting as much damage as he can in.
Yeah, but I have to think when your opponent has sneak attack, you're probably happy. Like you're doing okay.
Well, from what I saw in Matt's hand, he did have a Gristlebrand.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so this probably will end fairly quickly. Especially with 4 mana up. Nope. So, yep.
Sure, why not?
The Worm and Gristlebrand.
Yeah.
And that was that. The thing about...
Casual, take 22, I'll gain 7, and then I'll decide if I want to draw some cards.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe.
sort of the expected end.
Yeah.
That was fairly quick. I don't know what Matthew can pull aside from the Krakus.
So yeah, mono red sneak attack seems amazing.
Yeah.
In this matchup, anyways, I don't know what Matthew does here.
He's taking a few hand disruption cards, which probably would be of added benefit.
And we're getting deckless now, but I have to think Matt probably has access to Blood Moon.
Probably.
All right, so we do have sideboards. So Matthew's deck. So in the sideboard, so main board, he is also playing Through the Breach, and he has 4 Blood Moons. Seething Song, Lotus Petal. This seems great for him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna ramp into a Blood Moon, and your lands deck is not going to do anything until it can deal with the Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Through
the Breach.
Yeah. Post board, he's got Fairy Macabre. Not a ton actually. So he does have like a Sorceress Spyglass. And an Abrade, which I don't think is relevant. So really, he's got the 2 Sorceress Spyglass, which he probably brings in. But I mean, like main deck, he's just got all he's got Gristlebrand, Inferno Titan,
Nice.
World Spineward, Emrakul, and the 4 Simian Spirit Guides. And so main board, he's also got 4 Chalice of the Void, 4 Blood Moon. I don't think he has tons to bring in because I think his deck is just so well suited to dealing with this.
Yeah, it looks like based off of what I've seen, he's only pulling in a few from his sideboard.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky, I guess. Game 2, it looks like Trinispheres.
Okay.
I see Trinispheres. I love Trinisphere.
Yeah, well, you might get to see it. Is that what he's bringing in, or maybe not?
I think he brought in 2.
Okay.
Let me have a look at the sideboard there.
So, sideboard, he has 3 Trinispheres in the deck, so he might have brought one in.
Yeah.
But I feel like this matchup is good enough for him that that's fine.
Yeah.
Now, what about Matthew Dilks? What has he got to bring in that's helpful?
Doesn't look like a whole lot. Assassin's Trophy, maybe?
Oh, I think definitely the Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah.
Because it answers, the sneak attack as well. Like, he has to be knowing Blood Moon is going to come, right? If you see your opponent playing mono red and casting ramp spells.
Yeah. So,
or rituals, rather.
You got to assume that you're probably going to be facing off against the Blood Moon, especially when your deck is very dependent on your lands being non-basic.
Yep.
It's just one of those things, though, like, how do you prepare against that?
Yep.
Like
Assassin's Trophy. I think you kind of also hope that your opponent just mulligans into oblivion.
Yeah. Which is kind of a tricky part with...
you're being pretty optimistic at that point.
Yeah.
But having said that, these kinds of decks that Matt is playing, they have a lot of pieces that need to come together correctly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any hand manipulation, right? So he's really looking to draw, like a land, a ritual, and a payoff, right?
Yeah.
And so there's going to be hands where he doesn't, as far as I see, well, he's running 20 lands, so actually that's reasonable. But, it's possible that he doesn't get, like, the land, the ritual, Through the Breach, and something to breach.
Yeah. So, This is on some level.
Thoughtseize is definitely going to help.
Yeah. He does have 4 Thoughtseize as main board, and he did move 1 Duress in.
Yep.
So it looks like he has some opportunity. The unfortunate thing is it looks like he drew into 2 Herbs. I guess he's just going to run with it because he can Thoughtseize.
Okay.
So
take your pick. Do you want to get Blood Moon out of the game, or do you want me to just win with Emrakul?
I think for the type of deck that he's running right now, he probably would benefit more from taking the Blood Moon.
Yep.
Yeah. Because he does have an Assassin's Trophy in his hand.
Yep.
So maybe he's hoping that he'll draw a green source in the next turn or so.
Yeah.
Which he effectively did with that Mox Diamond, if he has another land in hand.
Now, one of the problems is Matthew's land deck, like, well, actually, no, because he has the crop rotation, so he does have a little bit going on.
Yeah. And Thespian Stage. All right.
Okay.
So
it's possible.
It's possible that this will become something that Matthew Dilks can actually pull a win out of.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So that's going to make 2 mana.
Yep. 3 altogether.
Is this the Simian Spirit Guide? So I think this is going to be a sneak attack, or?
Yep. So that puts a lot of pressure on Matthew to.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, so now
Assassin's
Matthew's
Trophy.
in a pretty good spot because, Matt has invested, a Simian Spirit Guide into that play, and I think his hand is like Emrakul and land.
Yeah.
So, and this is the whole thing about, those kinds of decks being fragile. Like, they're able to do something very powerful, and if Matthew didn't have the Assassin's Trophy, he's just dead.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they get disrupted a little bit, he's not going to have any card filtering. Like, he's relying on the top of his deck to find the right things. So that's like a Through the Breach or another sneak attack. But even sneak attack is going to require, some land.
Which he does have.
Yeah.
He could actually do it this turn if
Okay.
he drew it, but it doesn't look like it. And Matthew Dilks is pretty much, I guess, waiting for a 3rd land drop.
So scrying, that'll do it.
Yep. So he can grab his Dark Depths this turn.
Yeah, so he basically has to not be just dead next turn, and I think
the Krakus is actually a better investment, I think.
Okay, yeah, well, because it keeps him off the just dead next turn.
Yeah. And that prevents Matt Riddell from doing any damage with Annihilator.
Yep.
So.
Well, doing anything with
Yeah.
Annihilator. Like, you can get an Emrakul into play, and now it actually also... Does Krakus remove from the battlefield or just moves from combat, right?
It pops it back, the legendary creature back to its owner's hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then, that makes Through the Breach, like, terrible.
Yeah.
A
heavy investment for nothing.
5 mana, lose your Through the Breach?
Yeah.
Seems less good.
But you can splice into Arcane.
Nobody knows how that works. It's too ridiculous. When your opponent starts splicing on Arcane, I just get miserable. Like, thank you for bringing back the obscure mechanic from Kamigawa that I'm so happy to be seeing again.
It's there are some really off the wall mechanics that Magic has.
You know what's a real cherished mechanic that I'm real glad they printed? Haunt. That's a good one. That like, no one can keep track of what is even happening. Like, your Orzhov Pontiff dies. Now it haunts this creature, but your Orzhov Pontiff has to stay in the graveyard because you do have no way of marking that it's...
Yeah.
It's just the worst. Like, every now and then, you have to wonder, like, did the designers think about this at all? Or...
I mean, banding.
Yeah, banding. Banding's the obvious one. Oh,
Yeah.
Yep, so here comes a Merit Lage.
Which I hope to God he has a token for. Unless he's using that dice.
No!
Wow, this is exactly what you were talking about.
I'm so upset.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
he's getting the token. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
The nice shiny original.
Fantastic.
Unless that is the reprint.
Take 20.
Yep. So yeah, I guess this is a match.
Yeah.
These types of decks kind of, I guess, work in this way.
What a silly matchup, eh?
Yeah.
So, game 1, I'm going to hit you for 22. Game 2, I get hit by a 2020 flying indestructible token.
Yeah.
You know, what does game 3 have in store? Probably something gigantic killing in one turn.
Well, it looks like Matt's actually pulling in the other Trinispheres,
Okay.
which I think works in his advantage there because
I think that's quite strong. Yeah.
Mox Diamond becomes completely useless.
Yep, and you know he's got the spirit guides. I think that's great because it makes crop rotation bad. It does a lot.
Yeah.
And in fact, had he had a Trinisphere out, that Assassin's Trophy would not have been able... Did he have 2 lands out or 3 lands?
He had 2 lands out, and he was about to... It would have given him the extra turn that he needed.
Yes. Mind you, would he have been able to get a Trinisphere out? Probably not. Not Trinisphere and the sneak attack, but yeah, I think the Trinisphere seems quite good here.
Yeah. So...
And I think... I just want to see a turn 1 Blood Moon.
Yeah.
You know, and then I want Matt to keep a hand that only does that, and then we just have that draw, do nothing for 8 turns. Discard, Emrakul to hand size, shuffle my graveyard. That's what I want to see. I want to see some good quality. Turn 1, you're out of the game, and neither of our decks do anything for the next 10 minutes.
20 minutes, 30 minutes goes to time.
Blood Moon makes for good magic, let me tell you.
I know. I love it. Nobody else loves it, and that's why I love it.
Yeah.
So, it looks like, these guys are actually surprisingly evenly matched for what they have.
Yeah, they're both just trying to do something degenerate.
Yeah.
And it's no one's messing around with any nonsense like counter spells or caring what you're doing. I just want to kill you first.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, quite reasonable.
Yeah, it's a surprise. It's a refreshing take from the usual Delver mix-up set.
It's it's like its own way of controlling what your opponent does because they can't cast spells if they're dead.
Yeah.
The
best kind of control is the one that brings your opponent's life total to 0.
I'm going to keep my opponent off of breaching a Gristlebrand by making him dead.
Yeah.
Seems good.
Yeah.
Seems excellent.
So I think Matt Riddell's probably really hoping to have that awesome Blood Moon opener, which might be a little bit tricky. How many Blood Moons does he have?
He's got the 4 Blood Moons.
Oh, wow.
And so he's got 4 Lotus Petals, 2 Seething Songs. He's got 4 Simian Spirit Guides. I think it's quite likely that he powers out a super early Blood Moon. Lots of ways to do it turn 1.
Yeah.
He's got the City of Traders, 4 Traders, 4 Ancient Tombs. You know what I mean? That just has to combine with one of
Sandstone Needle, that's the...
Yeah. So that would be a turn 2 Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Barely even good.
They could still crop rot.
You know what I mean? So with the Spirit Guides, the Lotus Petals, the Seething Songs, I think he has a ton of ways. And I would not be surprised if he gets a hand, especially on the play, that is turn 1 Blood Moon and do literally nothing else. I would keep that.
Yeah.
100%.
Just 6 lands, 5 lands, a Simian Spirit Guide, and a Blood Moon.
Yeah, especially when your opponent is playing stuff like Duress.
Definitely have a turn 2 Blood Moon.
Yeah, he also has the Trinisphere.
And also a turn 1 Chalice on 1, which it looks like he's going to go.
All right.
Yeah, that stops Duress, that stops
and
Thoughtseize.
Matthew, when you see your opponent make 2 mana turn 1, it's tap, and it's just oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting chaliced, aren't I?
And then right after that, followed up with a Blood Moon.
Yeah, and now I don't think Matt has the hand that does nothing off the Blood Moon. I think he actually has, if I'm not mistaken, he has a Through the Breach. Yeah. So he's got payoffs. He's in a very good spot here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matthew has an Abrupt Decay in hand, but
Can't.
no way of casting it.
Yep, this is definitely Red Prison in action.
Yep.
And it looks like, is he going to...
And it's interesting, because he had the turn 2 Blood Moon, but if he didn't have that Chalice, it would have gotten hit by hand disruption. So
Yeah.
it's actually like a really, really powerful hand. I don't know that... Sure.
Yeah, there we go.
Why not?
Yeah.
Nobody can cast spells. When you're on 2 mana and you cast a Trinisphere off a Spirit Guide, you are just like straight up all in on it. You're like, I'm doing this.
Well, I mean, when your payload's through the breach,
Yeah.
you're looking at really just annoying your opponent more than anything.
Yeah.
I knew pulling in those Trinispheres would probably be really helpful. Between that and the Chalice and the Blood Moon, it's like...
Now, the Trinisphere changes the CMC of the spell, right?
Yeah.
So the Chalice no longer...
Actually, no.
No? Okay.
It doesn't change it. It actually costs an additional to play it. So
No, it changes it to 3.
No, it doesn't.
Let's find out. We're going to use the magic of the internet. So I could be wrong. M.
Oh, I've become an expert in Trinispheres because I love the card. It costs an additional amount to actually play it, but it still has the same CMC.
Well, it says it costs... As long as Trinisphere is untapped, each spell that would cost less than 3 mana to cast costs 3 mana.
Yeah.
So... The ability affects the total cost of the spell is applied after any cost, so it becomes a 3 mana, I think.
Cost increase next supply any cost reducers. Finally, look at the amount of mana you have to pay. If it's less than 3 mana, you pay 3 mana. Cast. You still need to pay an additional mana.
Yeah, so I think it does make Chalice not great. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I looked away for 2 seconds. Sure.
Yeah.
All the Blood Moons, all the Trinispheres.
All the nope that you can get. And unfortunately, Matthew Dilks he has everything.
He has a great board, except for all the stuff that Matt is doing.
Yeah.
Because it's true. If he can deal with the Blood Moons, which he can't.
Yeah.
Because he, I don't believe, has like Maelstrom Pulse.
He only has the 2 Assassin Trophies.
Yes. Well, he has an Abrupt Decay, so he just needs to hit a green land and then just also hit a black land.
Yeah. For everything.
Hit his 2 basics. Actually, he only needs the green land because then he can crop rotation. And for the swamp.
Yeah, but...
Well, and then he just needs to also hit the Abrupt Decay and the Assassin's Trophy. No problem.
Yeah, this
easy.
Matt Riddell just threw down a sneak attack, so I think at this point it's going to be...
It's pretty much it.
Emrakul. And Matthew Dilks has more than enough lands.
There's the Annihilator.
Yeah.
Sure.
And...
Take 15.
Bring you down to 5.
Now, how many of his Thespian stages did he blow up there? 2. Okay. So theoretically, if Matt Riddell does literally nothing for a long time, and then Matthew Dilks draws the Swamp, draws the Forest, draws the Assassin's Trophy, and draws the Abrupt Decay, and then also draws another Thespian stage...
Like, there's so much Matthew Dilks has to find right now.
Yeah. There's very little chance he gets out. I mean... Yeah.
Surprisingly, Matthew Dilks... He has 3 surgical extractions.
Oh, there's the Inferno Titan.
And that's game.
Yep.
Wow. So that was to be expected from a Red Prison deck.
Yeah.
I was just really surprised. Away for no less than 10 seconds, and we see double the board state that he had previously.
Yeah, just like infinite Blood Moons.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and get Matt Riddell up here.
All right.
And maybe talk about the matchup a little bit.
Okay.
I'll be back in the booth in a moment.
Yep.